What up? This is Robert Horry.
Horry, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
I know what's going on. Damn conference finals are going on. It is the shoot-around. It's our Friday bonus show. If you have a question for us, this is leftover topics and fun stuff we didn't get to on our Big Tuesday show. We're always happy to have you. We're at Big Shot Bob Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, bigshotbobpod@gmail.com. Our first question this week, Rob, comes from Andy. After seeing this Nuggets Thunder series go to 7 games, I wanted to ask Rob, what's the best team he's been a part of that had to fight through either a 6 or a 7 game series? I heard Shea say that he was nervous going into Game 7 because of the regular season that he had, and did you ever feel nervous going into a Game 7? So he's got a few questions later. So best series that you can remember having to go to 7?
It had to be the Portland Trailblazers.
The Trailblazers. Okay.
Conference finals. We know whoever won that game was going to win the NBA championship. So that one was the toughest, even though the Knicks in 94 was tough. But
yeah, Knicks 94 went to 7, yeah.
Yeah, we went down like that, with that home being down, whatever, like 20-plus points or whatever it is, and come back to win that game. So that one, I get nervous before every game. And the last time I wasn't nervous was my last couple of games in the league, where I just didn't give a shit no more because I knew I was done. I was retired, and plus I got my first DNP, so when I got that first DNP, the nervousness kind of went out of me.
Okay.
So I know it sounds weird, but every game I ever played in my life, I've been nervous, except for preseason games.
Okay.
So,
but in like a Game 7 scenario, I would imagine every fan in the stands is probably like freaking out. Yeah. Does you feel that energy kind of carry down?
No, because you're so focused on yourself and the team and your game plan that you don't even think about the fans. It's weird. You only think about the fans when you start hearing them roar in the crowd or something goes on. But for the most part, I can only speak for me, but I think most athletes, they're so focused that they block out all the outside noise. And that's the elite athletes. If you can be able to block out the outside noise, the only thing you hear is your teammates and the coaching staff, and that's pretty much it.
Now, let me ask you, though, is part of the fact that you were never nervous for a Game 7 because of maybe the amount of success you had? And the only reason I say that is because you got guys like Harden, who I would imagine every time he walks into a Game 7 is like, God, son of a bitch. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, because he just hasn't had that kind of success.
No, I would say I was always nervous. I'm nervous before every game.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I guess that's fair. All right.
Yeah, Game 7s are just as much nervous. It's about how you calm your nerves down. And so how I calm my nerves down was like we would come into the arena, and then I would literally just go into a dark room and just like try to take a little 10, 15-minute nap to bring me back down. Because once you step into the arena, your emotions get high, your adrenaline starts pumping in, but you have to bring yourself to an even kill. It's so funny. Ron Harper saw me doing this, and he started doing it. So we would do it together. Like we would go into, I know this sounds weird.
Okay, go ahead.
Harper, so don't say it in Harper. We would cut the lights off, and we would just like almost like meditate to like bring the energy down and get the mind right, and to focus on the task at hand.
Okay. Turn the lights down low with Ron Harper.
That's the name of this week's episode.
Yeah, turn the lights down low with Ron Harper. All right.
2 RHs.
Next question came from me. Scotty Scheffler continues to show that he's just the damn best golfer on the planet. He won the 2025 PGA Championship this past weekend. When he was asked where he's going to put the Wanamaker Trophy at home to display it, he said he's going to go, quote, where all my crap goes. Like, dude's got the Wanamaker Trophy. It just goes where all his crap goes. So my question is, where's all your crap, Rob? Did we see it last week in the living room? Is that where most of your crap is?
That's some of my crap.
That's some of your crap. Okay.
But my complete crap.
But do you have like a dedicated crap space?
No, I have like 3 places. I actually have more. Like my jerseys are in a room upstairs. I came home one day and my wife had dedicated this whole room to all my jerseys. I have every jersey that I've won a championship I have framed.
That's
so she
cool.
dedicated that room. And then I have the room, the TV room you saw me the other day, has stuff. And then if I literally showed you the floor in my office, it's where all my crap is on the floor.
What, you've been in this house now for, God, what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, I got a lot of crap.
Yeah, I know, but you got to get some of that crap on the walls. Is what I'm saying.
But I don't have any. But I have an atrium.
You have no wall
that has,
space. Okay.
I have no more wall space. You know, people probably say you got wall like you see like dropping mics. That's like all my frame pictures of championships. Like
okay, yeah, all your signed frames and stuff. Yeah.
And so I got stuff everywhere. You got to think about I played with some of the greatest players that ever won championships. So I got a lot of crap.
You do have a lot of crap.
And
it's a good problem.
Like, yeah, and like just like one of my favorite things, of course, is my jersey from Gary Carter. But one of my other things I really have is I have this signed picture from Nolan Ryan. And I think we talked about
where he said that don't mess with Texas.
Yeah, don't mess with Texas.
Robin Ventura in a headlock,
yeah,
punching him in the face.
And I got one from Muhammad Ali, and I got one from Kareem. I got one from Joe Montana. Those are all.
So if you get new crap, that's it. It ends up on the floor because there's nowhere else to put anything.
It goes on the floor. Like right here, I got new crap that's on the floor right here. I got Rockets right here that I'm trying to figure out if I want to just put it in storage. I got Lakers over here. I ain't got no Spurs crap.
I ain't got no Spurs crap.
I don't. I do. It's just because I don't. It's weird because
and I'm not meaning to speak out of turn. I don't feel like you had the.
But when we say crap, though, that don't mean it's actually crap.
No. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, from a perspective of someone who's gotten to know you over the last 4 years, I don't feel like you have the kinship to the Spurs that you have to the Lakers and the Rockets. Rockets being the team that brought you into the league, Lakers being the team you probably had the most success with.
Yeah.
Even though you won two championships in San Antonio.
I got some Spurs stuff right here. Right, I got the Wheaties box. I got me knocking Steve Nash on his ass right here. I got some Spurs, but it's not that much stuff.
Yeah.
I got my in the atrium, I got a whole Big Shot Bob thing of the shots I hit against the Pistons, the dunk I did I got something, but it's not a lot of crap. But when we say crap, we don't mean it in the bad thing. People.
Oh no. Scotty just referred to yet another trophy as just crap, and it made me giggle because I was like, okay, you win the Wanamaker Trophy at the PGA Championship. He's like, that's where all my crap goes. So I guess he's got like a trophy room at the house. So I was just curious. All right, a question from Troy. Rob, what do you think is next for Westbrook? I mean, we've talked a lot about him for the last few years for probably the wrong reasons. I like the role he fell into in Denver, but I have a feeling there's going to be some wholesale changes there. Do you think he should try to hang in, or do you think he should try to hang him up?
The crazy part about it, his attitude needs to change first. Westbrook reminds me of AI in the sense where you still think you got it when you don't, but you could be a really good mentor, a really good situational player, and understand who you are as an individual. And for me, you think about his tenacity, the way he plays. He had more triple doubles this year than 9/10 of the league. Yeah. And so I still think he has a great opportunity to provide some energy and some sparks to the team. But I think right now Denver probably be his best bet to stay there because he's developed a type of situation with that team, and don't try to go somewhere else because it's always hard to develop a type of relationship with other players, other teams, and it's just stay where you are. Also, it's going to depend on who Denver gets as a coach too. So
true. Harp, you think Westbrook still has some game left in him?
Yeah, he still got some game left in him. He's not the number one option anymore.
No, that's a part of the question too that I thought was actually good was he's kind of adapted to that role in Denver. That's got to be hard for a guy like him.
I mean, I think he's adapting in the role that I eventually think somebody like James Harden is going to have to do. KD's not there yet because I still think he's just a formidable talent. But I think eventually any superstar that was once at the peak of their game eventually has to come to terms with the fact that, hey, I'm not the number one guy anymore. But it doesn't mean that my expertise and my skill set can't still go and help a team that's on the cusp of winning a title, help them to do that. So I think you just got to come to that reality mentally, and that's the toughest part because you can still play. But it's realizing that, dang, man, I ain't I'm not the man anymore. Because a lot of these guys are Hall of Famers. And to know that you'll probably be a Hall of Famer one day and you're not the man, it's kind of a tough thing to get over. But that's that ego that you got to kind of get through in order to help a team, get to a title. Because to be honest, he ain't got no title either.
No.
So you're really getting something.
Yeah.
Right. You're wanting what they want. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of helping him being in Denver helps him more than him being there helps them because Jokic has won a title.
Yeah.
So and Westbrook is still looking for his first. So bringing that expertise there and being able to win your first title to solidify your career, I think Denver may be the best place for him.
Okay. Question from Sean to the whole show. There's been a lot of talk about Jalen Brunson becoming a, quote, top 5 Knick of all time. I'm not there yet. You guys?
No.
That's you're talking about a storied franchise, too.
Exactly.
Like, you want to say top 5 all time.
Now, I will say this. One, he's not been there long enough.
True.
2, but I do think if he wins a title, it does
Maybe
make
lean
it a
that conversation?
little more. Now, I think from a standpoint of him longevity, he still has to get the longevity underneath him. But the fact that he was able to accomplish what a lot of those greats could not.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, we might have to talk, we might have to chit chat a little bit.
But I think the only way he's in that conversation is if he gets it done.
Yeah.
If they win a title and he's a big part of the reason, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I
willing to
still think
entertain
he
the
needs
thought.
about 4 more years there before he becomes a great.
True,
Think about the
but
time that all those other greats, Carmelo, Patrick,
Yeah,
Bernard
so many.
King, Wes Unseld,
Yeah.
all
right.
those guys, they put in time. Just because you come in and score, a lot of points your first 3 years there, that don't, no.
But if he went, but what if he? I will say this: what conversation then needs to be had if he, not only him winning a title, but he's the main catalyst that helped get you there. He's not just a guy; he is the guy and the leader of that team. So what happens if he captures a title for the Knicks?
Nothing. He just won a title. Titles don't mean everything. That's like saying Charles Barkley was one of the worst players ever played this game.
No. I'm not talking about.
I know what you're saying, but it does, just because he won a title with the Knicks, don't make him one of the best, top 5 players in the Knicks history, though.
I get you.
Because his longevity and what you did for the organization for those years, he's what that'd be like saying, anybody like that, because you can think about what Bridges is doing for the team. He said, he's top 10 Knicks just because he's what he's doing.
It's like saying Kawhi Leonard's one of the top 5 Raptors of all time because he won that one title there.
He is.
Oh, yeah, that's probably right. They don't have the storied franchise, I guess. So, yeah, that was a shitty point on my point. Yeah. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that he would be in that top 5. But what I do think it does, it speeds up a little bit.
It up. Yeah, it speeds
it up quite a bit.
Right. You don't have to do 10 years to be in the conversation at that point because you've already gotten the job done. Yeah.
Because you got to talk about a city as crazy as New York and how much they've been yearning. You see how crazy they're going for the fact that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, yeah. Imagine them winning a damn NBA title. Jalen Brunson is going to. In their minds, he is a god. To bring a title back to New York City?
Yeah. Big time.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And you're right, though. I think it speeds up the conversation a lot.
And like I said, he's not just a guy. No disrespect to Josh Hart. No disrespect to anybody else there. But Jalen Brunson being your point guard and being, kind of the main catalyst in that sense of kind of getting this thing going. New York has a history of loving their point guards. Mm-hmm. So, or loving just their guards in general. So I think, it speeds it up quite a bit.
Okay. General question to everybody here. What if Giannis lands in San Antonio? This was from an anonymous Eastern Conference executive. Said, quote, if the Spurs paired Giannis and Wemby, they'd be a favorite to win the title next year. They'd have 2 guys that might be top 5 players in the league on the same team. Plus, they fit. They'd have dominant defense that no one could score against inside. And they'd be able to play 5 out in a more devastating way than the Bucks ever did. So if you throw all the trade scenarios and all that stuff out the window, do you think Wemby and Giannis in San Antonio might be like a force to be reckoned with for?
Yeah. No. You don't think so, Rob?
You don't like it?
Because we just talked about it. What they got to give up to get him.
Well, obviously what's that, number 2 pick, 3 pick?
Yeah, whatever they
Which
got.
one they got?
First, they got number 2 pick.
Yeah.
That's still not a number. Just number 2 pick alone is not going to be enough to get Giannis.
No, but that's what you start with. I'm talking about where you start.
What else? Let me ask you this question. All right. Now, we just talked about the Phoenix Suns, and they had this big 3, and they depleted their bench. You're gonna have to. First of all, San Antonio ain't got no bench. You're gonna have to give up Castle. You got to give up Castle at that.
Well, he's gonna be in there too.
Yeah, you got to give a pick, and then you got to throw in 3 other dudes that we don't even know about. They're gonna be so diluted on their bench that it's like, no. So yeah, you can get Giannis there, but shit, you're gonna be, unless you're gonna get some guys that, let's go over here and play. It's gonna take less money, and these guys now they ain't doing that shit no more. They're not taking less money.
What if this is and it'd probably be the same result. What if this is a 3-team trade?
You're still going to be depleted. I don't care what you do, because
a lot of stuff.
You got to think about it. Now you throwing in a guy who's making $50 million a year. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. So yeah,
I don't know what other draft picks and capital that the Spurs have, because I haven't looked at all that they have.
I don't know.
I know that the Spurs were one of the teams that was heavily talked about if Giannis wanted to be moved. That could be a potential team that he could go to. But boy, you talk about Block City.
I was gonna, just the idea of the 2 of them.
The new Twin Towers.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like you said, Rob, though, what do you put around them?
Yeah.
Because 2 guys are great, but 2 guys aren't the team. So, who knows? That's an opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, last thing. We'll wrap up shoot around this week. And if you ever have a question, by the way, for the shoot around, any of this nonsense, like I said, at Big Shot Bob Pod, all over the place. I'm gonna leave us on a note. Selma Hayek. Have you seen her on the cover of the swimsuit issue? She is 58 years old.
Well, I saw her in Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, well, yeah. Everybody's seen her in Dusk Till Dawn.
Hey, but did you see her in Frida though?
Oh, yeah.
She's naked in Frida.
Put a Google on that.
And the bad part about that is I had to sit next to her while I looked at her and saw her naked, and I'm like, oh shit.
I'm with my wife. I am not looking at this. I was distracted looking over here for some reason.
Actually, I wasn't next to my wife at the time.
I don't know. All right, so my question is, 58-year-old Selma Hayek, I mean, just as beautiful as she was 20, 30 years ago. Other women that are just like, man, she doesn't seem to age. And it's not an insult to any other women, but there are some women like Selma Hayek where you're like, I can think of one immediately. Sofia Vergara. Like, Sofia Vergara today looks as good as anything I've ever seen from her at any point in her life. And that floors me that some of these women can age like that. Because that's amazing. Like, she looks incredible.
Yeah. Like Halle Berry.
Halle Berry's up there, but
Halle Berry has lost a little off her fastball now.
So she went from 105 fastball to 100.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Harp saying she's not a closer, but we're gonna call her in on the bullpen.
and I think as beautiful as Halle Berry was and is, it got to a point for me where it became a little overrated. I don't know when
Halle Berry, if you're listening, I'm not saying this. Brandon Harper is saying this.
I'm not saying she's not a gorgeous woman.
She might be listening. We pumped the lube last week in the shoot around, so we might have gotten a plug listen out of it. You know what I mean?
See, I think Nia Long is still beautiful.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
How old is Nia Long?
She should be in her 50s.
I think she's in her late 40s, early 50s, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's me talking out of my ass, but I think that's right.
Like her, Sanaya Lathan.
Nia Long's a good one.
Megan Good is one for me.
You know who I used to have the biggest crush on?
Who was that?
Jane Seymour. I always think she still looks good at her age.
She does. She really does. You know who still looks really good too? And I saw her recently, and I don't know why I just thought this. Christy Brinkley.
Yes.
She still looks incredible. And it's like, damn, she's got to be late 60s, maybe early 70s at this point. She still looks amazing.
I would mention one more person, but she's my neighbor, and my son is friends with their kids, so I don't want to say because I go over there and they hear the podcast, they may look at me like crazy.
Oh,
Angela Bassett.
Oh no, that's a
wait
good
a minute.
one.
Wait. Angela Bassett lives near you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She knows she listens to the podcast?
I don't know if she listens to the podcast. Probably not, because she's always busy.
I was gonna
No,
say,
but I
Angela
thought you
Bassett
said
don't listen to this shit.
you know somebody who listens.
My Christian, I say I don't know if she listened to the podcast because Christian is good friends with their kids, and so
Okay.
Hold on.
But that's
wait
a good. But
minute.
that's a good one though. Angela Bassett. That's a good.
Wait a minute. Time out. Let's slow down.
Harp's reevaluating his life decisions. Yeah.
The Angela Bassett.
So I never told you the Christian story about. So get this. So
Clearly
Christian, Christian goes to Harvard Westlake. So we drop him off at the bus stop. I'm gonna go real fast.
That's okay. Take your
And
time.
so we like, did you make any friends on the bus? He's like, I met this one guy named Slater. So it goes on. So after 3 or 4 weeks, we're like, oh yeah, me and Slater are cool. And Slater's mom is in the entertainment business too. I'm like, oh, she is? Like, what'd she do? He says, I think she was the mom in Black Panther. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean Slater's mom is Angela Bassett? He's like, yeah, that's her. I said, man, give me your black card. Do you know who Angela Bassett is? He was
Wow.
like, yeah, the mom in Black Panther. I said, you don't understand who Angela Bassett is, dude. She's like
She's
royalty
royalty.
in the black
She is
culture.
royalty.
Well, that's on you, Rob, because you ain't teaching.
Man, I can't do that if the kid want to watch anime all the damn time. Back then, he was an anime guy. Now, the Christian now, who's like, he's with it now. He knows who Angela Bassett is. So yeah.
Wait a minute. So I mean, but you've met her, right?
I've only met Courtney, her husband.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because
Courtney B. Vance,
he's an actor.
He is.
Yeah.
Very good actor.
He played in was that The Preacher's Wife he played in?
I think that's right.
Yeah, he was the husband. I mean, he was the
been in
preacher.
tons of
Yeah.
stuff. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. When you divulge these type of stories about these type of people and they live this close, they do need to know that you have a platform, and we would love to have them on.
All right, I asked Courtney.
Because this isn't just a sports platform. This is also an entertainment platform.
I asked Courtney.
Yeah, when you ask him, that's Courtney.
Vance, man. He's been
And
in so
then
much
tell
good
him to tell Miss Bassett
To stick her head in.
Just to drop in.
or pull up a chair next to him.
So speaking of, this is a funny story since we're on this topic. I was doing a show with Steadman. So we doing a podcast.
Oprah Steadman?
Yeah. So we doing a podcast with Steadman. He's in the kitchen talking.
Oh, you're
All of a sudden
one degree from Oprah. Holy shit, dude.
So the door opens and Oprah walks in and she's like, baby, I'm on a podcast. She's like, okay, and walks right by. I'm like, yo, man.
Wow.
So did you get any quality FaceTime with Oprah?
Yes. But I don't know Steadman. I was doing it. He was.
Oh, you lost your audio. What happened?
I said no. Steadman was just one of the people that were in the. This is during COVID, and it was.
Oh, so it was the Zoom today.
Yeah, one of the Zooms.
All right.
So
you weren't in the room with Oprah.
No, we were all doing a Zoom, and she walked in the back door, and I'm like, oh, well, shit, that's Oprah, just walking in all casual shit with some fucking flops on.
She don't care. She's basically the queen of the world. She don't give a shit. Walk through.
I think I talked to you about this, earlier when we just had started this podcast. And I think with you, especially being a former Laker, this is where this comes into play. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people who specifically courtside who know you as a Laker and Big Shot Bob, that you may have never, I don't know, have you ever met Denzel?
Yeah. I don't have. I've met Denzel. I've met a lot of people, but do
every
you
now
have
and
a
then you come in
contact?
with a story that you hung out with Dave Chappelle, and we're like, oh my god.
But see, it's one of those things where it's kind of like.
But here's the thing is, I don't want you to think I don't ask people. I ask people all the time.
No, I know.
I get back to you.
Yeah, we know.
And then I ask 2 times, and then I'm a 2-strike guy. I'm not 3-strike guy.
And here's the thing too, and
No,
this is just it. Podcasting is just such a commonplace thing nowadays that it's like if they say yes to you, they're going to get inundated with 100 other people going, well, you did Robert Horry's podcast, you're going to try my fucking podcast? It's going to be like that. So I get it.
But it is dope to see people like that who have millions of fans, how they're like big fans of you. Like, bro, I was courtside when you did this.
Well, that was Chappelle. That was the story about Chappelle. Chappelle was like floored to meet you, and it's like, bro, it's Chappelle. What are you talking about?
I'm like, dude, I'm thinking about put your hands on
Yeah. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's Chappelle, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that purple and gold is something.
Yeah, it carries some weight, dude.
Powerful.
It carries a lot of weight, man. You just think about, even when you go to the games now and you're back in the Delta Lounge and you get to meet people. Like the last time I was in the Delta Lounge, I was like this: do I say something? Do I not say something?
Who was it?
I'm not gonna say, because you guys
No,
gonna say,
say it. No.
No, just say it. We promise.
I'm just curious
won't
to know
say
who it was.
We promise.
I'm not gonna say.
No, come on.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all a hint. He's a really popular singer. He has a beautiful Asian wife, and he plays the piano very well.
John Legend.
John Legend. There you
Okay.
go.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Mr.
Did you
Ordinary
get to
People.
talk to him at least?
Yeah, I went over and say, yo, man, I just want to say, and he was talking to me. I said, you know, I was like a fan. I was like, I know you don't remember, but I met you one time in DC. Your brother introduced me. So how's your brother doing? He's, oh yeah, I remember that, man. I was like, stop lying, you don't remember that.
Yeah.
And then he introduced me to his wife and his kids. So he was really nice.
That's cool.
Is he a Laker fan?
I don't know. He was rooting for the Lakers at that time. So I guess when you're sitting courtside,
I've heard he's cool as shit though. I've heard John is very cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what's up, man. Like,
that's fun.
I told him, and I told him that I said, my wife tried to move when you were selling your house. You know, we went. My wife's like, yeah, let's buy his house. I'm like, oh hell no. He said, I said, no, that's out my budget right there.
See, that's the thing. I don't want you to never share these stories because we're gonna give you shit about getting them on the podcast. We're gonna always give you shit about getting people on the podcast.
I know, that's funny.
Never gonna change because we're selfish. We want to share the opportunity. You know what I mean, for ourselves. But no, always bring that stuff to the show. That's awesome, man.
But he was really nice. His wife was very nice. It was cool. It was cool people.
Dang, that's dope.
I can't believe I never told y'all my Selma Hayek story though. I never told y'all that story. So back when
I'm glad I brought the Selma Hayek thing up. It has opened a floodgate of stories from you.
I had just hit that shot in the corner to beat the Portland Trailblazers, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so we got back. I was at the gas station, and my phone rings, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is this? I don't know." I never pick up, and something says pick it up. So I picked the phone up, and they were like talking to me. I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then she was like, "This is Selma Hayek." I'm like, "Quit bullshit. Who the fuck is this?" No, this is Selma. And she starts talking to me. I'm like, "Oh shit, you should see me at the gap." I'm like, "Damn, oh Selma Hayek calling me." I'm like, "So what's up, girl?" And then she was like, "Yeah, when you hit that shot, I was just screaming." And then I'm like, she trying to holler at her brother, right?
Oh.
Okay. Hold on. Edward wants to talk to him. I'm like, man, I don't want to talk to Edward Norton. So that's when she was dating Edward Norton. Edward Norton gets on the phone.
Wow.
He was like, "Yo, man, we were so excited. We got to hang out. Let's do something." I'm like, "Okay, cool, man. Just, he might got my number now. Hang out." And so then she gets back on the phone. She said, "Oh, I have a premiere to a movie. I want you to come and be my guest." I'm like, "Okay, what movie?" She said, "It's Frida." I don't know anything about Mexican culture, so it's Frida.
This is the Frida. Okay.
Yeah. So I go to the premiere room, and my boy Ron Finley, Gangsta Gardner. And so we talk, and then she runs up to me in a pink dress with the slit up side. I remember exactly what she had on, like one of my favorite dresses. And she hugs me and says, "I'm so glad you came." She's sitting there hugging me in front of everybody. I'm like, "Okay, I like her." She says, "You must sit next to me." And then I'm sitting next to her, and all of a sudden we watch the movie and everything go in the movie. She got the leg out, and she's butt naked on the screen. She got the leg out. I'm like, "Oh Lord, this is the worst."
You just got to keep.
So you're watching Selma Hayek naked, sitting next to Selma Hayek. What is life?
Watching her premiere, she's sitting next to me, and she's on the big screen, and she's naked on the screen. I'm like, "Lord have mercy." I'm glad I got some type of self-control. I think of Janet Jackson, control.
Holy crap.
So that's my Selma Hayek.
So that's
story,
why
man.
you didn't want to, okay, because you're like, we're watching it, and I was trying not to pay attention to what was going on when Frida got naked. And I'm like, why would you not be like, if you sit next to your wife, I get it. Well, now I really get it.
Yeah, now you get it.
Now
I'm
I
like,
really get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
That's dope.
That's
Like,
wild.
we got a Selma Hayek story and some form of an Angela Bassett story.
I got a lot. I got more stories I could tell, but that's like what's the girl name?
We got more episodes. We've done this like 300-400 of these goddamn shows. We're just getting to these stories now. Like Jesus, man.
So for the next shoot around, we're gonna do the extension of the Selma Hayek story.
Okay, I'll make a note.
Oh, there's an extension of that story?
Because
I'm
for
sure
the
there
after
was.
party.
I'm sure there was.
No, because there's an after party that happened after that, and someone hit on me, and they got mad at me because I didn't,
Reciprocate.
I wasn't reciprocating.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Let's save that for next week.
Say that for next week.
Okay, the extension.